Tonight on CTV3 News, Honeycamp Road project hits environmental roadblock. DOE says 13 acres of forest are at the center of the rejection. We'll also tell you the story of a hearing-impaired high school student from Orange Walk who is in need of an interpreter. Will the Ministry of Education step in? And in the old capital, a mother of 5 is released on bail after spending 3 months in prison. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Tuesday, August 25th, 2026.
Money travels fast, so make sure you check it before you spend it. Here are 4 easy ways to know your money is real. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Look closely at your note by holding it to the light to see the watermark and the note value. Notice how the see-through image completes itself perfectly. Feel for authenticity. Run your fingers over the raised portrait and the bars on the edges. 1 bar for the $2 and up to 6 bars for the $100. Tilt the note to see the hidden value appear. Look for the moving images on the security thread and holographic shimmer on higher denominations. Check closely. Use UV light or a magnifying glass to find hidden images and microtext. Remember, handling counterfeit money is illegal. If you spot a fake, report it to the police immediately. Look, feel, tilt, and check. Know your money. Check it before you spend it. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
When I come here with me and my family, I get quality service. I have no problem with the doctors nor the nurses. It has a lot of impact on the families because they can also use the service just like me. People younger than me have to pay $2 while I get it my medication free.
So that's the great thing about NHI, that you can, access the service based on your ability to pay or not. All right. So that's the game changer of NHI, is that a consultation is $2, and I think if you don't have the $2, we would never deny the service. Built into that is children under 5 years old or above 60 years old or pregnant women. They have been suspended from the $2, what we call co-pay. So for them it's totally free.
I am glad because before I would have to pay out of pocket. Now, well, because I'm senior citizen, I can get most of them for free.
I think NHI is for everybody. Once you have a social security card, you should register for NHI.
On 1st August 1838, our African ancestors were legally emancipated from slavery, marking the beginning of a new chapter in the pursuit of dignity, justice, and opportunity. We honor their resilience, celebrate their enduring legacy, and reflect on the sacrifices that helped shape our nation. 5 years ago, the government of Belize formally recognized Emancipation Day as a deeply rooted part of our national journey and identity. That struggle, resistance, and triumph are fundamental parts of our road to independence, and that this present moment in 2026 is intertwined with our many challenges and opportunities as a nation and people. Advancing our education upliftment project and healthy school meals agenda, building more affordable homes for those most in need, and expanding our national health insurance program to ensure better health care for all. Physical freedom must be backed by economic empowerment. On behalf of the government of Belize, I have appointed the Belize Pro Tem Reparations Committee, marking Belize's active involvement in the call for reparatory justice. As the CARICOM Reparations Manifesto states, the goal is to achieve material, social, cultural, and financial justice for sustainable development. Through this initiative, Belize will have a voice in the CARICOM Reparations Commission as it works to define and implement a 10-point action plan aimed at securing redress for the centuries of oppression endured by African and indigenous peoples and their descendants. Today, on Emancipation Day, let us remember that we stand on the shoulders of men and women who were held in chains, but whose spirits were never bound.
In Belize, the Public Utilities Commission works every day amid the rhythm of economic activities to ensure homes, businesses, and communities have access to necessary utility services. Through regulations, the Public Utilities Commission powers progress, connect communities, encourage new ideas and bold innovation, manage consumer rights, guide change, and serves in the best interests of national development for a future that benefits us all. Every decision is informed by evidence and guided by regulations and the law. So if and when changes arise in any of Belize's utility sectors, including situations that may affect competition, regulations and laws allow the PUC to carefully assess those changes, ensuring consumers are treated fairly while maintaining a sustainable utility sector. The Public Utilities Commission, guided by the law, informed by evidence, working to ensure fair and sustainable utility services for Belize.
The first week we had it at Henry. Now this second week we're having it here at Georgetown Technical High School. Basically what we're doing is that we're trying to get youths involved in agriculture, especially because that is very important. We need it for food security, we need them to be sustainable. So we target them at a young age so that they can be able to incorporate whatever activity they're learning in their daily life, especially during the summer days, right? Regular summer camps would entail them probably to have some fun games outdoors and different other activities, but in terms of agriculture, we get them involved in different activities. For example, the whole week it's broken down in different activities. We had on Monday, we had horticulture, meaning that they had the opportunity to sow a seed, to do transplanting in a cover structure. On Tuesday, we taught them about livestock concept when it comes to New World screwworm, different livestock-related activities. Wednesday, beekeeping. Thursday, we focus on agro-processing, getting preparations when it comes to hands-on practice with healthy breakfast, healthy meals. And then on Friday, we wrap up with aquaculture.
I just wanted to see the different topics we were going to learn about to try to learn something. We were learning about beekeeping, and I learned a lot that in one bee box, they can be up to 80,000 bees. I've been having a lot of fun.
They are always excited. I mean, every day they come, you see a lot of sense of happiness and humor within them that they want to come to the agriculture summer program.
I'm very impressed with the amount of participants because we try to limit to 50. I believe today we have almost 70. And so we have a serious encouragement for young people. Because when I assume the responsibility as Minister of Agriculture, I recognize that young people don't want to do agriculture anymore. they want to be in tourism or academics or something of that regard. But as a nation, agriculture is the backbone of any economy. So as the minister responsible, I want to do everything possible to encourage young people to go into farming.
Good evening. With your newscast, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Jaden Gamis. The Department of the Environment has rejected environmental clearance for a proposed 2.2-mile road connecting the Honey Camp area to the New Land Community Road, citing concerns that the project's potential socio-economic benefits do not outweigh its environmental impacts. The decision follows a review of the Environmental Impact Assessment, or EIA, submitted by Tunigna Consultants and Engineering on behalf of Honey Hub Limited. Chief Environmental Officer Anthony Mai says the project was carefully assessed by the National Environmental Appraisal Committee, which includes experts from various sectors who examined the potential impacts of proposed developments. One of the major concerns was the proposed clearing of approximately 13 acres of forest within the northeastern biological corridor.
Forest Reserve was combined with Honeycamp National Park to form what is called the Northeastern Biological Corridor. This was done in 2020. And so when we received the proposal, Forest Reserve was combined with Honeycamp National Park to form what is called the Northeastern Biological Corridor. This was done in 2020. And so when we received the proposal or the application, it demonstrated that the 2.2 miles of road would have traversed through this protected area. And therefore, the Department of the Environment informed the proponent that the project would have had to legally undergone the EIA process. We developed a terms of reference for the study to be done, which was approved in collaboration with the proponents. The proponents then hired the environmental consulting team to do all the studies and to put together the report. A NEAC site inspection and a public consultation was held in relation to this project, and there were some concerns that were raised at the public consultation. Thereafter, the NEAC met, deliberated on the project, and recommended against the project. Again, because of the fact that in order to construct this 2.2 miles of road, the proponents would have had to clear about 15 acres of vegetation. And the NEAC felt that the 15 acres of vegetation within a very 13 acres of vegetation within a very sensitive ecological area, which is a biological corridor and was designed and protected specifically to protect habitat and wildlife movement. Right? So the NEAC felt that clearing 13 acres of vegetation goes against the reason why this area was protected.
The committee also found that the EIA did not clearly establish where sufficient material for construction of the road would come from. Officials say extracting additional material could result in further land clearing and disturbance of natural habitats.
And so to create additional quarry site within the area would have created additional impacts to the area. And this is just for 2.2 miles of road. And so they felt that, again, the need to protect this biological corridor far outweighs, again, the need to establish 2.2 miles of road. The EIA report also mentioned that the 2.2 miles of road would have just augmented or at least saved from driving like a 5-mile area, right? So it just didn't make environmental sense in relation to saying yes to this project. There is a particular section, or at least a part of the EIA process that is called the no action alternative. And so within the EIA report, the environmental consultant would have had to explain different options in relation to the proposed road. And one of those options is the no action alternative, which means that what would be the benefit of keeping this area in its natural state, right? And so you look at that in relation to the no action alternative as compared to the possible impacts that it could have. And so in this case, the no action alternative, the NEAC felt was one of the best decisions or most environmentally sound decision to make.
Concerns were also raised about the potential impact on Santa Marta Village, where residents depend on the existing road network for transportation, livelihoods, and economic activities.
Again, the proponent could have easily provided an alternative route outside of the protected area that would have been more beneficial from an environmental standpoint. So basically what the NEAC said is that the potential negative environmental impact associated with this project significantly outweighs the socio-economic benefits of the project. In fact, the NEAC even cited the possible impact that this road could have on the Santa Marta Village as being something that they had considered, where the road would have circumvented the village, and so all the usual traffic, etc., that normally goes through the village would not go through the village and created some level of socioeconomic issue for them. And this was one of the concerns raised during the public consultation.
Mai says the decision demonstrates the importance of the EIA process, which he describes as an intensive assessment involving specialists from different sectors.
The Commissioner of Lands is a member of the NEAC. We have the Fisheries Administrator, the Chief Forest Officer. We have a representative from the Public Health. We have, for example, the NGO community being represented, private sector being represented, tertiary level institution. We have a representative from Human Development. coastal zone management. So again, we have a wide variety of expertise within the NEAC, and they make recommendations to the DOE based on the information that they review in the EI report. So when the NEAC recommends us, I mean, the Department of Environment will say yes because we have the support of these 16 people. When they say no, again, it's only responsible for us to say no. Imagine a scenario where they would say no, and then as the Chief Environmental Officer, I still say yes. I will then have to justify why I made a decision different from what the NEAC suggested or recommended. So that just shows the robustness of the system and how well the system operates. And then for each EIA, public consultation is mandatory, and public consultation is done when the EIA report is being prepared. The EIA prepares has to go into the communities that are being affected and get the input from the community in relation to what their concerns are. And then we still hold a public consultation where people are allowed to come and question the EIA report, question the investors in relation to development, and provide the Department of Environment with whatever concerns they have. And the concerns of the public, just as how we review the technical environmental information, the concerns of the public are always presented and deliberated at the NEAC. So we combine the two.
Honey Hub Limited is not permanently barred from pursuing the project. The company can appeal the decision and submit an alternative proposal.
We wrote to the developer informing them of NEAC's decision on August the 21st. And in the letter to the proponents, the DOE informed that, again, they have legally, under the EI regulations, they have 21 days to appeal the decision to the minister responsible for the environment. And we also recommended to them that they could decide to provide to the department an alternative route that goes outside of the protected area for us to consider. And so we did, in my opinion, give them the proper advice for them to decide how to move forward with regards to this project.
If Honey Hub Limited chooses to reapply, the company would need to provide a revised proposal and an EIA that adequately addresses the concerns raised by the committee, according to Mr. Mai.
A particular area, and if it is land owned by other individual, they would have to have some form of agreement or commitment and approval from the person who owns the land to use the land for the construction of the road. So basically, we would have to ensure that they have rights to use that particular area to construct the road, and then we would still need to again meet with the Ministry of Infrastructure and Development to get their approval or no objection in relation to the new trajectory of the road. And then obviously we need to look at issues with regards to where materials would be obtained to fill the road in terms of quarry, and then look at what new impacts that the new route would create, and then how would we mitigate those impacts.
An Orange Walk family is appealing to the Ministry of Education to provide an interpreter for their daughter, a hearing-impaired student who began high school this week at Orange Walk Technical High School. The family says an interpreter is essential to ensure their child can understand her lessons, participate fully in the classroom, and have the same access to education as her peers. Her father, who is also deaf, shared his concerns in a social media post after seeing his daughter struggle during her first days of high school. He said, "The day that should have been a happy milestone, became rather difficult as he watched his daughter face challenges communicating and understanding what was happening in the classroom." The family is especially concerned because the student had access to an interpreter while attending St. Peter's Anglican Primary School, which they credit for supporting her education. Now that she has transitioned to high school, however, that support is no longer in place. Speaking with us today, the student's mother, Areli Alamia, said the family has already reached out to the Ministry of Education and is hopeful that assistance can be provided. She said her daughter has told the family that she is unable to fully understand what is being taught during her first few days of high school.
Maybe like when she associates with the other students, maybe the students supposed to ask her interpreter, and the interpreter will explain to her what they are saying, and she will express herself and tell them what is the conversation they're having and to know her better.
Okay, she just started school, high school, no?
Yes.
And how did she do in primary school in terms of education wise?
She did well. She did very good. She did no complaints. She did very well.
Okay, so she's very capable. School wise, it's just the interpreter that she needs.
Yes.
Okay, you think without it she would be able to actually keep up?
Yes. If she has her interpreter, yes, she would up. Because she's not like other children that she will sit in the class and listen to the teacher speak because she does not hear.
Mm-hmm.
So she does not understand.
Mm-hmm.
The mother describes her daughter as a good student who consistently earns good grades, but says the absence of an interpreter is making the transition to high school much more difficult. For the family, the request is not for special treatment, but for equal access to education.
She don't have no interpreter. There's nobody to help her at high school right now. And she's telling me that she feels lost because the teacher is speaking, but she does not hear. So we really, really want a help from the government so we could have an interpreter for her the whole year till she finished Ford Farm. The thing is that she did have an interpreter who was helping her, but the young lady, she is in maternity leave.
Okay.
She was going to computers. She had her interpreter there. But now that she went to high school, there's no one to help her.
And you guys have already reached out to the ministry, or
Yes, we did. And this is not from right now. This is not from right now. Because when she started preschool, she did have no interpreter neither. No interpreter. Nobody to teach her sign language, how to learn to say ABC in sign language. Recently, in school, before she finished standard 6, she had teachers who was her interpreter for a few.
We reached out to the Ministry of Education. However, we were unable to get a comment on the matter. Meanwhile, Orange Walk Technical High School confirmed that it is aware of the situation and says the school is working with the Ministry of Education to find a solution. After spending more than 3 months on remand, mother of 5, Nicole Gilda McDonald, has been released on bail and says her main priority is getting back to her children. McDonald appeared before the court after being escorted from the Belize Central Prison. Magistrate Nishad Mohammed granted her bail in the amount of $800, along with one surety for the same sum. As part of her release conditions, McDonald is required to report to police once a week and must not be arrested or charged with another offense while she remains on bail. McDonald had been in custody since June 8th after being accused of assaulting a doctor and a nurse at the Matron Roberts Polyclinic. The arrest was reportedly considered a breach of bail conditions from an earlier common assault matter, resulting in the revocation of her previous bail. In court, McDonald was also served with 10 pages of disclosure relating to a harm case involving Dr. Andre Castillo. The matter reportedly stems from an alleged incident on June 6th and has been set for trial on October 21st. Reflecting on her time behind bars, McDonald said that she spent 3 months, 2 weeks, and 1 day in prison. She also spent time in isolation after being sanctioned. During her remand, she took part in the Ashcroft Rehabilitation Program and completed her anger management sessions. Although McDonald continues to maintain that she is innocent of the allegations against her, she said that the rehabilitation program provided her with important lessons and have helped her reflect on her actions and circumstances. McDonald also made claims that several attempts have been made on her life and said she knows who believes is responsible. Those allegations, however, have not been independently verified. The mother of 5 is facing several other criminal charges, including assault, wounding, property damage, and using insulting words in connection with alleged incidents on June 5th. She is also accused in a cybercrime matter involving former Commissioner of Police Chester Williams. Prosecutors allege that McDonald used a computer system to publish comments that damaged Williams' character. McDonald is representing herself in all 3 matters. She has pleaded not guilty to the allegations and maintains that she intends to contest the cases when they proceed to trial. Coming up next, bus services to continue as government seeks more time to address diesel crisis. Stay tuned.
In Belize, the Public Utilities Commission works every day amid the rhythm of economic activities to ensure homes, businesses, and communities have access to necessary utility services. Through regulations, the Public Utilities Commission powers progress, connect communities, encourage new ideas and bold innovation, manage consumer rights, guide change, and serves in the best interests of national development for a future that benefits us all. Every decision is informed by evidence and guided by regulations and the law. So if and when changes arise in any of Belize's utility sectors, including situations that may affect competition, regulations and laws allow the PUC to carefully assess those changes, ensuring consumers are treated fairly while maintaining a sustainable utility sector. The Public Utilities Commission, guided by the law, informed by evidence, working to ensure fair and sustainable utility services for Belize.
When I come here with me and my family, I get quality service. I have no problem with the doctors nor the nurses. It has a lot of impact on the families because they can also use the service just like me. People younger than me have to pay $2 while I get it my medication free.
So that's the great thing about NHI, that you can, access the service based on your ability to pay or not. All right, so that's the game changer of NHI, is that a consultation is $2, and I think if you don't have the $2, we would never deny the service. Built into that is children under 5 years old or above 60 years old or pregnant women. They have been suspended from the $2, what we call co-pay, so for them it's totally free.
I am glad because before I would have to pay out of pocket. Now, because I'm senior citizen, I can get most of them for free.
I think NHI is for everybody. Once you have a social security card, you should register for NHI.
Every day, the demand on your business get higher. More productivity, better equipment, and reliable support to keep up with a fast-moving world. At Cellular World Business Solutions, we're ready to help you boost performance across every operation. Don't let outdated technology hold you back. With our certified and supported solutions, your business stays ahead. We supply office equipment, printers, inks, and toners, software licenses, IT system assembly as your Dell Platinum and Cisco partner, appliances, and custom orders tailored to your needs. From startups to large enterprises and renowned institutions, we serve every corner of the country because no industry can afford to fall behind on technology. Let's take your business to the next level. Contact us today at 610-2494. Cellular World Business Solutions, your reliable partner in business success.
Bus operators across Belize will continue running their services for now after the government requested additional time to address rising diesel prices and the financial challenges facing the public sector transportation. The Belize Bus Association, the BBA, said Transport Minister Dr. Louisa Banet requested another week today to finalize a cabinet paper outlining possible measures to deal with the increased cost of diesel and the long-term sustainability of bus operations. Following the request, BBA members agreed to make another temporary sacrifice to keep buses on the road on Tuesday, August 25th, 2026. As a result, the possible suspension of bus services previously announced by the association will not take effect at this time. In a statement, the BBA recalled that it had formally approached the government on July 15th, requesting an extension of the 3-month fuel subsidy before it expired. The association said it expects Cabinet to give the matter urgent consideration once the paper is presented. The BBA is also calling for a clear and practical solution that will allow bus operators to maintain reliable services while coping with the continued pressure from high fuel costs. For now, commuters can expect bus services to continue as the government prepares its proposed response to the industry's concerns. A stronger partnership between Belize and Honduras could soon take shape across several key sectors, as Prime Minister Honorable John Briceño and Honduran President Nasri Asfura held high-level talks aimed at expanding cooperation between the two neighboring countries. The discussions took place during Prime Minister Briceño's official visit to Honduras and centered on strengthening bilateral relations while identifying practical areas of cooperation that could bring direct benefits to the people of both nations. Among the issues on the table were health, security, trade, and regional integration.
El primer ministro de Belice, John Briceño, llegó este domingo a Honduras en el marco de una visita oficial orientada a fortalecer las relaciones bilaterales entre ambas naciones.
Es un gran placer para estar acá, visita del presidente, y para buscar maneras como podemos seguir fortaleciendo la relación entre Belice y Honduras. Tenemos muchos hondureños que han hecho Belice su casa, que ahora son beliceños, así que para nosotros es muy importante estar acá hoy.
El mandatario beliceño fue recibido en la base aérea Hernán Acosta Mejía por la subsecretaria de Política Exterior, Pamela Handal.
Bueno, una visita que refleja ese interés de fortalecer las relaciones bilaterales entre Belice y Honduras. Son diversos temas que podrán tocar los ambos mandatarios en áreas de cooperación.
Mañana el presidente Nasri Asfura Sabla recibirá la visita del primer ministro briceño.
With Belize currently serving as president of the Central American Integration System, CICA, regional cooperation featured prominently during the meeting. Belize used the engagement to promote stronger dialogue among member states, encourage consensus, and advance effects towards deeper Central American integration. Health cooperation emerged as one of the key areas for potential collaboration. The two countries discussed the possibility of Honduras assisting Belize with the recruitment of medical professionals to help address healthcare needs. The talks also explored opportunities for Belizeans to pursue university education, specialized training, and professional development in Honduras, potentially opening additional avenues for academic and professional advancement. Economic ties were another major of the discussions. Prime Minister Briceño pointed to opportunities for Honduran companies to enter the Belizean market, while also encouraging greater trade and the purchases of goods produced in both countries. On security, Briceño proposed closer coordination between Belize and Honduras, including joint efforts to tackle challenges that affect both nations. The proposal forms part of a broader push to strengthen bilateral cooperation and ensure that collaboration translates into tangible benefits for citizens. The high-level engagement underscores the shared interest of Belize and Honduras in building a closer relationship based on cooperation and mutual benefit. One of the biggest deals in Belize's telecommunications sector may have fallen apart, but Digi is ending the financial year with something else to celebrate: its strongest performance in company history. Belize Telemedia Limited, operating under the Digi brand, reported a record of $36.9 million in net income, representing a 31% increase over the previous year. Earnings per share also rose to 70 cents, while total revenue reached approximately $154.9 million. The company's return on equity improved to about 15.2%, further underscoring the strength of its latest financial results. The performance comes at a notable time for Digi, as the company had been at the center of discussions surrounding a proposed $80 million acquisition of SpeedNet Communications Limited, its biggest competitor. Yesterday, the Public Utilities Minister, Michael Shabat, shared his sentiments on Digi's record of profits.
You know, I'm glad that they're making a profit. After the $700 million of taxpayers' funds that the Borough paid for it, we need to find a way at some point in time to recuperate those monies. BTL is the national telecom, whether we want to accept it or not. Belizean taxpayers' funds have been invested in that company, and I think we have a reason and we have to ensure that BTL survives, so that when they are making profits, kudos to them. I have heard you say many times that you have new entrants into the telecom market, and I can tell you that there will be new entrants into the telecom market, but we need to make sure that BTL survives no matter where the attack comes from.
The cabinet could be heading into a prolonged period of heat and drought, with climate scientists warning that rapidly intensifying El Niño conditions may bring serious consequences for agriculture, public health, water supplies, and regional economies. The Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology, the CIMH, says El Niño conditions strengthened from weak to moderate in July and are now expected to intensify further, potentially reaching very strong levels between October and December. The weather pattern could persist into March of 2027, coinciding with the region's peak dry season. CIMH climatologist Dr. Cedric Van Meerbeke said the timing is particularly troubling because August through October is already considered the Caribbean's heat season. The combination of elevated temperatures and potentially prolonged dry conditions could place additional pressure on communities across the region well into next year. Previous El Niño events offer a stark indication of what could lie ahead. Van Meerbeke pointed to major drought episodes during 2009, 2010, and 2014 to 2016, as well as exceptionally hot years in 2010, 2023, and 2024. Forecasts indicate that drought conditions could develop by October or November across the Windward and Leeward Islands, the ABC Islands, parts of Jamaica and Hispaniola, and the Bahamas. For Belize, one of the biggest concerns is the potential impact on rain-fed agriculture. CIMH has specifically identified Belize and Jamaica as vulnerable areas, where declining rainfall coupled with rising temperatures could reduce crop production and threaten food security, particularly for subsistence farmers who depend heavily on seasonal rainfall. The warning comes as the region prepares for increasingly challenging weather conditions, with agriculture, water resources, and communities all potentially exposed to the effects of hotter and drier climates. Professor Michael Taylor, co-director of the University of the West Indies Climate Studies Group, MONA, said the threat identified by scientists earlier in the year is already becoming evident, that the anticipated conditions could also have consequences beyond agriculture. Officials are warning of increased health risks associated with deteriorating water quality, the spread of vector-borne diseases, and heat-related illnesses. Water and energy systems could face additional stress as demand rises and supplies come under pressure. Tourism, another major pillar of Caribbean economies, could also feel the effects of prolonged heat, drought, and marine extremes. The CIMH principal, Dr. David Farrell, emphasized that governments and communities cannot afford to wait until the impacts become severe before responding. Proactive measures are vital for mitigating the impacts of extreme weather events on climate-sensitive sectors, communities, and national economies, Farrell said. With the region moving toward its dry season, officials are urging residents, farmers, businesses, and national authorities to remain informed and prepared for changing conditions. There is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Medical Associates, Regent Street, NHI, was one of the first clinics, so we were here from the inception of NHI in 1993. We've been all this time up to today providing services. As services have been added on, we have cooperated fully with the NHI program.
Because I can visit the NHI clinic here with a minimal outlay of costs, I think it's an advantage for not only myself but anybody who is enrolled in the NHI program. Before I enrolled in NHI, any medical attention I had to go to the physician to get the attention, and that had a cost to it. And even when I enrolled in NHI, I had a small co-payment that I had to pay. It wasn't much, but when I reached the age of 60, the benefits improved even more because it meant that my medical attention was cost-free, my medication was cost-free, and so it has gone from one strength to another for me.
In Belize, the Public Utilities Commission works every day amid the rhythm of economic activities to ensure homes, businesses, and communities have access to necessary utility services. Through regulations, the Public Utilities Commission powers progress, connect communities, encourage new ideas and bold innovation, manage consumer rights, guide change, and serves in the best interests of national development for a future that benefits us all. Every decision is informed by evidence and guided by regulations and the law. So if and when changes arise in any of Belize's utility sectors, including situations that may affect competition, regulations and laws allow the PUC to carefully assess those changes, ensuring consumers are treated fairly while maintaining a sustainable utility sector. The Public Utilities Commission, guided by the law, informed by evidence, working to ensure fair and sustainable utility services for Belize.
Every day, the demand on your business get higher. More productivity, better equipment, and reliable support to keep up with a fast-moving world. At Cellular World Business Solutions, we're ready to help you boost performance across every operation. Don't let outdated technology hold you back. With our certified and supported solutions, your business stays ahead. We supply office equipment, printers, inks, and toners, software licenses, IT system assembly as your Dell Platinum and Cisco partner, appliances, and custom orders tailored to your needs. From startups to large enterprises and renowned institutions, we serve every corner of the country because no industry can afford to fall behind on technology. Let's take your business to the next level. Contact us today at 610-2494. Cellular World Business Solutions, your reliable partner in business success.
Efforts to strengthen Belize's child protection systems are receiving a boost as the United Nations Refugee Agency, the UNHCR, and UNICEF conduct specialized training aimed at equipping social workers with the skills needed to better protect vulnerable children. The Best Interest Procedure training brings together social workers and child protection professionals from across Belize to enhance their understanding and practical application of a child-centered process used when making decisions that affect children's safety, rights, well-being, and development. The procedure is particularly important in complex situations involving children who may be exposed to violence, abuse, neglect, exploitation, family separation, or even displacement. Through interactive discussions, case studies, and practical exercises, participants are gaining tools to assess individual circumstances, develop appropriate protection measures, and identify solutions that place the needs and rights of each child at the forefront. The initiative forms part of continued collaboration between the UNHCR, UNICEF, and the Department of Human Services within the Ministry of Human Development, Family Support, and Gender Affairs. The partnership seeks to strengthen national child protection mechanisms while also ensuring that frontline workers are better prepared to provide effective services to children and families. The training also addressed sensitive issues surrounding family separation, family unity, and custody. The training reflects broader efforts to strengthen Belize's child protection framework and improve the ability of professionals to respond to children facing difficult or high-risk circumstances. The UNHCR and UNICEF said they will continue working with the Department of Human Services, the Ministry of Human Development, Family Support, and Gender Affairs, and other national partners to advance child protection mechanisms and promote the rights, safety, and well-being of every child in Belize. Stakeholders from Belize's agriculture and livestock sectors gathered today in Belmopan for the official kick-off meeting of the Honey Extension Livestock Development, the HELD project, and an initiative aimed at strengthening key areas of the country's agricultural sector. The meeting was held at the headquarters of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security, and New Growth Industries at the National Agriculture and Trade Show grounds. The project is being supported through approximately $1.7 million in funding from the CARICOM Development Fund, the CDF, and the Government of Belize. This session brought together key agricultural stakeholders, including extension officers, livestock producers representing by the Livestock Producers Association, and honey producers. Opening the meeting, CEO Servulo Baiza delivered welcome remarks, followed by opening remarks from Minister of State Luis Alex Balona. The keynote address was delivered by the Minister of Agriculture, Food Security, and New Growth Industries, Honorable Rodwell Ferguson. The program also featured remarks and presentations from Mr. Kyron Barker, Program Specialist for the CDF in Belize, along with other CDF representatives who provided information on important areas of project implementation, including monitoring and evaluation, as well as procurement procedures. The HELD project is designed to improve the capacity and effectiveness of Belize's extension service while supporting greater productivity within the livestock and honey industry. A major component of the initiative will be helping producers respond to the growing challenges posed by climate change. Through the project, the government of Belize and the CDF are seeking to enhance agricultural support services and promote more resilient livestock and honey production. The initiative is expected to provide producers and agricultural officers with improved tools, knowledge, and the support to strengthen these sectors and contribute to Belize's food security and agricultural development. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Wednesday, August 26th, here on CTV3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at www.ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews. Or you can also visit our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3, thank you for watching and listening, and have a spectacular night.